Hi and welcome. If you enjoy my content, you can also find me on Twitch. This craft costed me approximately 25 divines, and the result can be sold for anything above 50 divines. I will try to keep the video as short as possible. Hope you enjoy the video and my very professional editing. I will also post each and every step of the craft in the description in addition to the video. Before we start, I just want to show an example of what type of gloves we are looking for in this craft. As always, the first step is to acquire the base. Here we are looking for any pair of Warlock Gloves with eye level 85 and above with an Alva modifier, as you can see here with arrows. Right now, prices seems to be the same for against chill enemies as burning or shocked enemies, but this might differ a lot, especially early on onto the leagues. But a good way to save money here is to find which one is cheapest, since it does not matter what element we have, since this can be changed in the Horticraft bench. Important to note here is if you go for another element or buy a low roll one and looking to use the Horticraft bench to divine it, make sure that you don't have triple elements. Otherwise you won't be able to roll from one element to another. And here's an image of the base I bought, which is purely with lightning resistance and the lightning modifier. Next step is to use the Horticrafting bench to change the modifier from lighting to cold, or what might be in your case fire to cold, etc. Now since we have against shocked enemies, we want to reroll these to against chilled enemies. And here we see how that mechanic works. Another useful thing here to save more money is to use this mechanic to try to hit a good roll on our Alva modifier instead of using the Divine Orbs. And here we see in a few tries that we hit 46%. And of course, this is up to you to decide when you are satisfied. And the third step is to fracture the base. Here it is a 25% chance to hit the correct fracture with the fracturing orb. And in our case, we missed the first try. So, step 3.1. If you miss the fracture, as I did, we need to get another base of eye level 85 Warlock Gloves. Idea here is to try to move over the Alva modifier and to get rid of the missed fracture modifier. Here we want to make sure that our suffixes are filled for both of our gloves, and this can be achieved with Ether and XR currency. In our case, we use a Lesser Ether Orb and throw Eldritch Exalted Orb until we have 3 suffixes. For our new pair of gloves, we also want to have a non-native suffix modifier. In this case, that is Strength. Here we can use Essence, but we need to make sure that the modifier is not called of the Essence. And for the Strength modifier, we use Shriekening Essence of Rage. Here make sure that you don't use Deafening, as that would be of the Essence modifier. Now we go to the Recombinator and recombine the gloves. This should guarantee that you move over the Alva modifier, but you can be unlucky and also move over the Fractured mod. In that case, you need to go again. And here we were lucky enough to hit the fracture on our second try. So step 4 is to essence spam. Now the idea is to finish the suffixes first and then continue to the prefixes. What we want to do here is to use essences, and in my case I'm looking for attack speed and intelligence as suffixes. The deafening essence of Seal is much cheaper than intelligence essence, and attack speed is also much lower weight, meaning that we will use much less currency using the attack speed essence. And here I used approximately 40 essences before hitting attack speed, which is guaranteed, and also T1 int. And the last step, to use Eldritch Craft. Here we want to use Eldritch Chaos Orb, Eldritch Orb of Annulment, and Eldritch Exalted Orb. But here we need to be careful, as on Eldritch currency, depending on what you're targeting, either suffixes or prefixes, you need to have either Ether or Exarch as dominant. In our case, we don't have any influence yet, so we can simply use a lesser Exarch Orb, but if you already have Ether influence, make sure that the Exarch one is dominant. And Exarch one is the red one, while the Ether one is the blue one. So you need to make sure that the red one is greater than the blue one. And from here it's very simple. your suffixes are protected, and basically all you want to do is to block the prefix that you don't want with the highest weight, and in our case that is mana. And just slam until you have two desired prefixes and last one to be crafted. And remember to use the Eldritch Chaos Orb if you hit two undesired modifiers to more efficiently clean your prefixes. Also remember that you can use Fellborn Exalted Orbs on your second slam to increase your odds. This is the most expensive part of the craft, especially late game, and this cost me approximately 10 divines, where I settled on T2 flat ES and T1 hybrid ES with percent ES crafted. Other popular crafted modifiers you could craft on your gloves would be percent damage increased while leeching or percent damage increased during any flask effect. And the last step to truly finish these gloves would be to get the implicit modifiers with the Ether and XR currency. I will not cover this in the video, but I will include links to the modifiers you can get in the description and also a guide explaining how to get the modifiers you desire. Thank you for watching. If you have any suggestions for future crafts or ways these crafts could be improved, please comment below. And if you like the content, you can also follow me on Twitch.